Hello, how are you? Been a while. Long time no see, which is how I start every video I think that I've done in the last year or so, because it has been a while. But yeah, I wanted to do, I guess, like a final update video, I suppose. I've tried and failed to record this many a time over the past month or so, but I never say anything right, and sometimes I just give up halfway through, or I'm not feeling it. But I feel like I owe the people who followed this channel for God, when did I start it now? 7 years ago. I feel like I owed people who've been following for a while, I owe it to myself as well, to feel like I have given myself some closure by talking some stuff out and leaving this as like a final send-off, if you will. It's been 3 months, I think, since I've posted a video to wrap up Once Upon a Time, and I did say then, that's going to be my last reaction to Once Upon a Time, because the channel is the way it is now, and this felt like an appropriate time to kind of do this video now, to kind of really say goodbye, because I'm taking part in a collaboration with some other great reactors. I don't think details have been announced for it yet. I'm going to wait for the host to kind of drop that, but we haven't recorded that yet, but I'm treating it as that's my swan song for YouTube, really, because I felt like I didn't want this kind of ramble and rant of sadness to kind of be the last thing I do in this realm of YouTube. I want that to be something a lot more fun and lighthearted, which that is absolutely going to be, and I can't wait to record that whenever we can. So I thought I'd get this out of the way first before we go off and do that, so that I don't end on a kind of a downbeat sort of note, I guess. But yeah, I hope you're all well. How am I doing? That's the big question. I think worse than ever, which isn't ideal. The last couple of years have been just so hard and awful and relentless, and I'm so tired all the time of just everything. Things not working out the way I hoped with the channel hasn't helped that, because that kind of started the spiral of not having money to do things, to buy things that I'd want for myself, to be able to do a weekly shop of my own accord and not have someone buy it for me because I couldn't afford to, which is what it ended up becoming for the last few months of me living alone. And then eventually, not being able to afford my own flat, losing that independence that I think I particularly thrive in and enjoy. And then having to, move somewhere that wasn't in my plans, and does feel like, a halt and a huge inconvenience to, several members of my family who now have to put up with me, or, before I caused them all sorts of financial bother to try and keep me afloat, to the point where even having a full-time job somewhere just wasn't enough to afford a flat on my own, which is the world we live in somehow. And yeah, that all hit me very, very hard, kind of that imploding the way it did and losing that. I felt like I very much lost a huge part of myself when I kind of had to stop doing this. I lost some fulfillment, I lost a lot of enjoyment. I don't really feel like I enjoy TV and films the way I used to when I did reactions and stuff. I feel like I've lost something in regards to my experience now. I'm not excited for that much. The things I am excited for get cancelled. Basically, I hyperfixated on Shadow and Bone and The Six of Crows and everything, all those books for the past couple of years, and I discovered them just as things started to get really shit, so I really attached myself to them. So that cancellation hit me pretty hard. Like, that was something I was like, oh, I can look forward to that show coming out in like a year or so. Hang on for another year and I can see that. But that's, the fight is still ongoing for that, but I don't even have that. And I know to some people that will sound quite sad, that so much of my happiness is tied to a show like that or books like that. But that's what was getting me through, and even that's gone. And I just don't have anything to look forward to, and I don't know anyone here apart from the people I live with, my dad and his partner, who have been lovely, very supportive, just let me kind of do my own thing and be me, which I think is what I need to do. I need my own space, otherwise I would be driven crazy, and they give me that. Creatively, I feel like I have nothing in me anymore. Financially, I have literally nothing, which isn't ideal either. I went to buy them an Easter egg today, because it's Easter on Sunday. As I'm recording this, it's Friday. I went to buy them both an Easter egg, because I was like, well, that's the least I can do. And my car got declined, because I have no money on it. So, that's where I'm at with that, and obviously that's not going to help the whole broken brain situation either. And also it was just very embarrassing to have to just walk out the supermarket with my, tail between my legs. And it's not just me, obviously everyone's struggling with cost of living crisis and everything, but I still haven't even gotten another job yet since I moved over here. I applied for what would literally be a dream job for me, to work with a YouTube channel that I really admire, to write for them, and they kept me waiting for 2 months just for me to not even get an interview. So that was quite a big blow as well. That was a cry myself to sleep night, which feels like such a cliche, like crying yourself to sleep, but I did. So that's a first, it's a new experience for me. So that wasn't good, and that, to me, that felt like my last shot of living a life I'd want to, which sounds very morbid, and I don't mean it in like a super, super dark way. I mean like fulfilled, I guess is the word. And I know, again, I'm not going to be alone in that. Most people aren't going to be doing jobs that they'd want to be, or doing their dream thing. But I kind of had it for a bit, and to lose that and to know I'm never going to have that again sucks. So I feel like I'm not lucky enough to get any chances in industries I want to get into. I've never really been particularly lucky. I just don't have the opportunity or the funds to pursue those things either. And sadly, in something like acting, which I would love to get into, and that's kind of like my dream, to be an actor since I was, probably 9 or 10. I was always very aware that was a very hard thing to get into, in any form of success. And I know, most actors are out of work at any one time anyway. So I guess it's not entirely different to my situation, except I never get to do the thing I'd want to go alongside not having a job for God knows how long. So, I was aware of all that, but I always told myself, if it has to work out, because what else are you going to do? What else are you good at? Nothing. And I still believe that, and I know people say otherwise, but I genuinely don't know what else I'm good at. Genuinely. Certainly not anything that is going to be a valid career for me. So that's just another thing that sucks, and I feel like I've thrown like a good 10 years of my life away dreaming about that and being like, well, it's going to happen because it has to. All that's gotten me is uni debt I'm never going to be able to pay back, because I wasn't making enough even during YouTube for them to say, you need to start paying your loan back now. So that's just never going to go away. So all I've done is given myself a ton of debt. You know, dragged family members, you know, there and back to like move me into uni and stuff like that, and go through all that and try and pursue these things just for me to come out and be like, I feel like I've wasted everyone's time doing that, and I regret pursuing something that I'm just never going to be able to do. And I think that was also the peace of mind that YouTube gave me when, you know, I was able to leave uni and almost kind of delay the dream for a bit, because I've got a bit of security in something that I still feel very fulfilled in doing and still feels creative and kind of, you know, makes the happy chemicals work. And then that's also gone. So now I was left with nothing. And yeah, I don't know. I didn't really know my path after that. And, you know, I apply for any old jobs I could get. Wouldn't even hear back, much less get an interview. I haven't got an interview for anything I've applied for. I think they take one look at me, see what I've been doing, and like, fuck that guy. YouTube, really? And then that's kind of another reason why I got the job when I went part-time with it and worked at doctor's surgery for the best part of the year. You know, that was to prove that I can work as a team, I can do this, and I'm still not getting anything. So I don't know what more I can do, what more I can give to that. So I'm left kind of feeling like I regret everything, and I regret trying to go for my dream. I regret doing YouTube full time and relying on it as a career for as long as I did. I probably should have stopped doing it full time probably a year before I did call it, because I wanted to believe things were going to turn around, even though things never turn around for me. I still wanted to believe that. So it's just that naivety, I think, again, that kind of thought, yeah, I'll study drama at college, and yeah, I'll study it at uni. And, you know, I've seen other people on my uni course go out and absolutely smash it, and they're working at theatres, and some of them have gone to teaching. And here I am, turning 28 in 6 months, with literally not a penny to my name, no prospects, you know, living in a tiny room compared to, you know, what I had with my flat, having had to get rid of like 70% of my stuff when I moved. Like 90% of my books I had to just donate and get rid of, which was really, really hard. So much of stuff that I'd been sent by people on YouTube, I had to get rid of it because I needed money. I had to sell some of it, I donated some of it. And that was really hard, and it's exhausting trying to find like a purpose at the minute, and trying to see a light at the end of the tunnel when there isn't one, because I genuinely don't know what I'm going to do. You know, I spent those 2 months waiting for that job to come back to me. I was like, you know, they must be considering me. And then to not even get an interview, I was like, well, I wasn't even remotely close, was I? And that was to try and like get into the games industry, which I feel like is something else that I'd be really good at. And that's what got to me, because I know I'd be really, really good at that job, because it was doing YouTube and, you know, working with the community and being a personality eventually online. And it's like, this is literally what I did for 5 years, and that still wasn't enough to even get an interview. So that dream also kind of died. And maybe opportunities will come along at some point to act somewhere, or, you know, get into the games industry somehow, or just get into like writing articles or something somehow. But how long can I keep doing that? Am I just falling back into being that naive person who's like, well, I'm going to be able to do something I want to do eventually, because it has to. What am I going to do otherwise? And that's gotten me where I am now. You know, I spend, you know, every waking moment trying not to cry. Basically, that's been me for the past like year or so. And I just feel very trapped, and knowing that independence that I really loved and thrived in and had a chance to, you know, hang out with my friends all the time, which I don't have anymore because I don't know anyone here. And, you know, it takes me a couple of hours to get to them. It would take them a couple of hours to get to me. And they've all got busy lives themselves, you know, obviously doing adult stuff. Stuff that I've never been able to do and probably won't able to do. Like, you know, have a partner or live with someone, have a job, have money to do things. And I used to be able to just not even think about that. And I knew then how lucky I was and how privileged I was, and I said so God knows how many times on like Q&As and stuff. Now I really feel that. Now I really see. But, you know, you don't know that they're the good old days until they're gone, do you? So I feel like I peaked when I was like 20 years old, and now here I am, just knowing like this existence is kind of how it's going to be for me for a good long while. And the idea of like getting my own place again is probably years away, unless I win the lottery or something. But again, never been very lucky. That's what's really killing me inside. Just knowing that I can't break that cycle without life giving me a break, which it hasn't done for a very long time. So yeah, it's just, I can't picture like, oh, where do you see yourself in like a year or two? I'm like, I genuinely couldn't tell you. Probably on the street somewhere. I just don't know, which is terrifying, but I'm also very numb to it at this point, because I'm like, how worse can it get? So yeah, it's been a struggle, and I know I'm not alone in that struggle, which doesn't make it easier, but people think it's easier, you know, to be like, oh, you're not alone and we're here for you and we'll help you out. But, you know, that doesn't change what's going on here, does it? And I just wish there was such an easy fix to it, but there isn't, and I feel very kind of trapped in this kind of just waste of existence. And I kind of feel like just having to distance myself from this entirely will be a way of accepting like that part of your life is over. You're never going to have that creative and independent freedom again, certainly not for probably years. You're probably not going to be able to wake up every day doing something you love ever again. I feel like coming to terms with that would be to just let this go, which is kind of why I'm doing this video, to kind of say thanks and cheers and good luck and goodbye, I guess. You know, I don't think my presence on YouTube will go entirely. I think for this channel, probably. I do want to kind of start maybe a gaming channel or something. I wouldn't advertise it on here because I just want that to be its own little thing, its own little corner of the internet that gets like 3 views or something, and 2 of those views are me rewatching it when I'm sad at 2 a.m. But even then, I don't know if that's something I'm going to be doing. But certainly this part of my life, I think, is done now. So I'm sorry to everyone who's like hoping for me to finish like Avatar, or get back to Teen Wolf, or do Heartstopper when season 3 comes out later this year. I'm not going to. That's kind of done now. So yeah, apologies for that. I will probably still like tweet about it, or I'm going to keep the channel up, obviously, at least for the time being. And you know, there's the community posts on there. I feel like maybe if I carry on watching Teen Wolf or finish off Avatar, I can just write my like an episode review or something on there if you guys are interested in that. Even if there isn't a reaction to it, I can still tell you what I thought. That was something I was considering doing, particularly like Teen Wolf, because I've still got so much of that show left to go. I only watched the first season. But again, I don't know, because I feel like I've just lost so much of that spark and that interest in it, because it's just a reminder of what I used to be and what I used to have, and I'm not any of that anymore. I'm just a little gremlin in a corner. So yeah, obviously I'll keep you updated when that collaboration does come out. I'm sure you're probably already in, if you're watching this and follow the channel, you're probably already in the circles of people that would let you know about it anyway. But yeah, I wanted that to kind of be the final thing that I'm actually in, rather than this, because this is, you know, pretty glum way of ending the journey on here. But I don't feel like I've got anything sort of left in me. So that's where I'm at. I think that's kind of everything I wanted to get off my chest. I felt like actually saying it out loud would like help, so I've done that. So yeah, I hope things are going better for you. But yeah, I felt I kind of owed you a video like this anyway. But yeah, I think that's kind of everything. Yeah, I don't know what's next for me and what the way forward is, but hopefully I'll work something out. Maybe not come up with a new dream, because dreaming hasn't got me very far in life. And I do feel like I've wasted a lot of years. So I think I'm done. Patreon's still going to be open for as long as it's financially, you know, able to. As long as it keeps paying for itself. It currently is still paying for itself. It cost me like 30 quid a month to keep it up, because of like the Dropbox subscription and enhancing like my Google Drive storage and everything. Paying for that every month to keep that up, so that people can still access those reactions, those full reactions, if they want them. You know, and if it gets to a point where, you know, Patreon doesn't pay for that anymore, I will just have to close it. But I would let you guys know, obviously, in advance of when that's going to happen. But to everyone who's still on Patreon, thank you very much, because that's literally the only money I'm getting at the minute. And that little boost at the start of every month is pretty helpful. But again, no obligation, because, you know, apart from the back catalogue, you know, you're not getting anything new from that. So don't feel obliged to keep supporting that, because obviously we're all struggling. But to those who are still there, thank you very, very much. But yeah, I think that's that. So yeah, I hope things are going better for you. I hope you're all doing alright and looking after yourselves. I will see you in that collaboration when that comes out. I will share details of it when I can. But yeah, thanks for the adventure, and I hope we can all find a new one to go on, even if it's not together. I'm grateful for the time we had. I kind of regret where it's gotten me, but you know, I hope I'll look back on this video in years to come and be like, oh my god, I can't believe I ever felt like that. Because right now, I think of like, 3-4 years ago, I'm like, oh my god, you were happy? That feels alien to me, happiness, which I know is depressing. But, I've always been very genuine and authentic in my reactions on the channel, and I want to keep that when I do updates like this, and I always have. So that's where I'm at. Sorry to end on such a bum note in terms of a video. I've been somehow chatting for half an hour anyway, so I don't know if many people are still here. But yeah, good luck in everything you're doing. I hope some of you have kind of gotten the lives you wanted, even if I haven't. And yeah, I'll still be making shit jokes on Twitter and Instagram, TikTok once in a blue moon when I remember that I have it. And yeah, I guess I'm not going away in regards to that, but I feel like this is done now. As much as I wanted to keep it going and say, oh, I'll pop in every now and again, I feel like I just can't. So yeah, thanks for everything, and yeah, good luck whenever you do. Keep on keeping on, and I won't see you next time. Yeah, thanks.